If there's anything that we've learned about the world over the past couple years, is that the world is full of scumbags. And unfortunately, for the racing world, it's a magnet for these terrible people. And one of these people was a man by the name of Michael Avenatti. For reference, Avenatti came from a relatively wealthy family, as his father was a manager for Anheuser-Busch. His interests, though, were more in the field of politics and law. In his college days, he worked as an opposition researcher for Rahm Emanuel's political consulting firm. And during his time in law school, he actually participated in the constitutional issues relating to the Patriot Act. In being in such high-profile political fields and law, Avenatti accrued both a high amount of wealth and political notoriety. In the 2000s, being straight out of college, he worked on over 150 political campaigns for both Democrats and Republicans alike in 42 different states. While being in politics, he also worked with high-profile celebrities and figures such as Christina Aguilera and even Paris Hilton. The Hilton case being a legal dispute against The Apprentice host Donald Trump. It was around this time where he formed his law firm, Eagle Avenatti LLP. With this firm, his career would lead towards two high-profile cases: the affirmation of now U.S. Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, as well as the case of porn star Stormy Daniels and the then-president Donald Trump. This does tie into his racing career, I will add. Since the late 2000s, Avenatti participated in dozens of sport car races. By 2011, he was participating in American Le Mans Series, his first start coming at Laguna Seca. His team only finished 96 laps after mechanical failures and ended up last in their class. But this was only the beginning of his racing career. In 2012, he returned to the American Le Mans Series, and with that, he also participated in the Rolex 24 at Daytona. In the Rolex, his team finished the race, and they even finished 14th in the GT class out of 44. In 2012, overall, he actually competed in 6 of the 10 American Le Mans Series races. He even managed to be on a podium at Laguna Seca. With this, he competed in one more season in 2013, but did not have the greatest results by any means. He needed a bit of a change of pace in his career at this point. So in 2014, Avenatti changed it up and raced in IMSA. This led to his biggest career moment in racing, the 2015 24 Hours of Le Mans. In order to run at this point, Avenatti had to run his own team, GB Autosport. Driving a Ferrari 458, Avenatti started 51st of 56, and the team would end up finishing 36th overall and 7th out of the 8 in the Ferrari class. For the time being, it looked that this would be the last of his major racing endeavors, as Avenatti's focus instead shifted fully to his lawyer career in politics. In 2018, he was the lawyer who introduced a written declaration accusing the Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of spiking drinks at parties for the purpose of allowing girls to be gang raped when he was in high school. And while the said accuser later repudiated the claims and said that Avenatti misrepresented her, his stock overall in the political climate was higher than ever. And it led to the biggest case of his career around the same time: the Stormy Daniels trial against President Donald Trump. The scandal was how Trump and the porn star had an affair in 2006, with it being alleged that Trump's lawyer arranged a $130,000 payment and an NDA to be signed by Daniels. Avenatti would represent her as her lawyer. With the extra publicity, and add that this was the second highly publicized and political case that he had made, it made him actually a dark horse contender for the Democratic nominee for the 2020 presidential election. The only real holdup, he said, to being president would be the fact that he could never drive again and that he could never be a race car driver because of that again. But soon, he'd have much more serious problems on his hands than racing. Going back to 2013, in the middle of Avenatti's career, he had a coffee shop business with partner and actor Patrick Dempsey. Both of them did race cars and agreed to use their company, Tully's Coffee, to quote-unquote sponsor Avenatti's racing endeavors. At the time, both owned the team, but this changed when Dempsey sued Avenatti for not fully funding the coffee chain and instead using it to funnel funds into his race team. Even with this, GB Autosport continued to operate even after the owners split. In this time, Avenatti's illegal activities didn't slow down, particularly in where the funding of his race team was coming from with embezzled money. This included several counts of wire, tax, and bank fraud, as well as aggravated identity theft and embezzlement of client funds. U.S. Attorney Nick Hanna actually told the Chicago Tribune that money generated from one set of crimes was actually used to further other crimes that he was doing, typically in the form of payments designed to string along victims so that he could prevent Avenatti's financial house of cards from collapsing. With this, he was charged with outright theft from 5 different clients. On 4 different occasions, Avenatti procured funds on behalf of his clients. These clients had some viable and valid claims, and these funds ranged from a $1.9 million contract case to an $8.1 million negotiated sale of stocks. What would happen is that the parties would pay Avenatti's law firm, expecting him to distribute the client's funds, and then it was alleged that he would tell these clients that a lump sum payment could not be used. He would also change the date of the payments that the clients had, or whether or not the clients even paid, and would then continue to siphon more money out of them. The money instead was all filtered to Avenatti's bank account, who used it for personal usage, like getting a private jet, as well as continuing to fund GB Autosport. It was also found out that he funneled funds from his coffee company to GB bank accounts, and the trend continued with his most high-profile clients, namely Stormy Daniels. He used her accounts and identity to take a cut of her $800,000 advance of her 2018 book. With this, he stole about $300,000 of this advance. And again, much of this went towards GB Autosport so he could continue to joyride as a race car driver. Since this all took place, Avenatti has still gotten himself into more legal problems even outside of racing, the biggest being the fact that he threatened Nike. He publicly claimed the company was illicitly paying amateur basketball players. And from this, he tried to extort over $25 million from the athletic giant. For this, he was sentenced to 30 months in prison in Oregon. As for the rest, he's still awaiting sentences for a lot of his other crimes. But one thing's for sure, he won't be racing anytime soon, and he won't be president. But now, I'll pass this on to you. What did you think of Michael Avenatti's racing career and all of the legal and illegal issues that he continued to get himself in trouble with? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're at it, leave a like on this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more great racing content. And to all my channel members, thank you so much for your support. And until next time, have a good one.